Creighton, the Blue Jays, winners of the Big East for the 11th straight year in the regular season. They will be in their home white uniforms. And forget about the matchup between Big East, mid-major, and the SEC, big-time conference. This is going to be a very, very competitive volleyball match. Emma Halter, first contact, perfect pass, and what a block out of the middle. Right on cue by Kiara Reinhardt, 6'3" senior out of Cedarburg, Wisconsin.
Texas said, good first contact will allow us to run our middles early. They get what they want there, Paul, and Creighton still stops it.
A couple of blockers up that time for Creighton. Reagan Rutherford, the transfer and a national champion, like Madison Skinner, wearing number 10 in burnt orange out of Kentucky with the opening kill. As Emma Halter, the outstanding libero for the Longhorns, will go back to serve. Texas at 20-6, 13-3 in the SEC. Creighton 31-2. Their only losses to Louisville and Nebraska, both in 5. Perfect pass by their star, Norris.
You are going to get a look at two of the best outside hitter combos in the nation between Texas and Creighton. And for Creighton, it is senior Norris who leads the way from the left pin. She is their go-to 6 rotation, and she goes to the service line.
Off the top of the tape, good coverage by Aiden Ames, middle blocker. Oh, a misplay that time and a misread by Maddie Skinner. That ball was down on the side of the Texas Longhorns. Norris out of Papillion, Nebraska, Big East freshman of the year. What a career she has had, 22 player of the year. Missed 13 matches last year because of an ab injury, but is back fully at 100%. Pass by Wennis, and Skinner turns it down the line. So back-to-back unforced errors by last year's most outstanding player in the national championship.
Texas coming off of a match over USC where Maddie Skinner started very slow and improved as the match went on. Creighton has yet to play a seeded team in the tournament because of some upsets, so a big challenge here today.
Good block deflection, misplayed by Sis. That chase down by Maddie Bilinovich, very familiar to the fans here at Penn State. Played 103 matches in a uniform for Penn State before transferring.
And Paul, no matter how much experience you have, because two players in this tournament with more experience than you can imagine are Skinner and Sis. And we see both of them early in this match with a misplay. The moment is big. The nerves are there in this tournament.
Here's Kayla Akana out of Hawaii, expert defensive specialist and receiver. Ava Martin gets a piece of the top of the block. They are back-to-back among the best outside hitting duos in all of the country.
That's exactly right. That's why I said you're going to see one of the best combos, two of the best combos in the country, because when Norris rotates to the back row, Creighton doesn't lose a step. Ava Martin, just as strong of an attacker. In fact, she had 35 attempts in their second round match, more than Norris.
Bilinovich serves that ball just a little bit long, has quite a good hero in her column in Morgan Hintz, the former National Defensive Player of the Year out of Stanford, and a 3-time national champion. Maddie Skinner back at the line. Used to be very, very aggressive with a spike serve, but has become a little more conservative in this her final year. Good pass overhand by Martin. And that ball is down away from Wennis. Very good shot selection.
Using the tip to score, not just to extend the rally. I like it early, just smart volleyball by Ava Martin, who was asked to pass in that rotation. It's a give and go. She passes and attacks and pushes it deep into the middle of the court.
Here's Sydney Breisinger, 5'7" sophomore out of Cincinnati. Defensive specialist, and a shank pass by Texas.
First contact, it's all about ball control.
There is Kirsten Bernthal Booth, 3-time National Coach of the Year and the reigning Big East Coach of the Year, and mentioned right before first serve, 11 straight Big East championships. Skinner out of the back row and misses that one wide. Timeout, Texas. The first of 2 semifinals here from University Park, and Creighton out early.
Creighton out to a very quick lead, and the weight of expectation can be a heavy thing as our 2-time defending champs, the Texas Longhorns, come out to a very slow start, and has a lot to do with their own play. High error volleyball so far on the Texas side of the net, Paul.
That was something that plagued Maddie Skinner and all the Texas Longhorns early in the season, but certainly not of late. They have been playing impeccable volleyball over the last 8-match winning streak. Martin again going high flat.
These outsides for Creighton so well trained. They can take the big power swing when it's there, but they are so good on the high flat off the top of the block.
Creighton a perfect 5 for 5 in the attack phase. Working on when a short. And Aiden Ames off the edge of the block and out of bounds was the #1 recruit in the nation. The Gatorade Player of the Year, wearing number 5 in burnt orange, headed to the sideline.
Avery Carlson over there setting for Texas, doing everything she can to get all her attackers involved. See who has a hot hand here early.
Rella Binney, 5'10" freshman out of Hawaii. 15 subs in women's college volleyball, so there was lots of movement in and out. And a unforced error from the service line.
A stark difference on the stat board as we see Creighton batting 1,000, Texas 0.
Jared Elliott, he's been through it all. 3 times a national champion, now in his 24th year on the sideline at Texas. Perfect pass by Akana. And Mariana Singletary tattoos the sideline wearing number 11 in orange. There's Jared Elliott again, once again, back-to-back national championships. Beat Louisville in 2022, Nebraska last year, both in sweeps. 15 Big 12 championships, 9 times the Big 12 Coach of the Year is now they have, with Oklahoma, have moved over to the SEC. Martin out of the back row with a rocket.
Talked a lot about what Maddie Skinner is capable of from the back row. But the first strike comes from Ava Martin, the junior for Creighton, with some velocity.
Sky McCune on the floor to serve out of Nebraska. 5'7" junior. Working on Skinner, very good pass, and Singletary able to shred through the block that time of Creighton.
Aside from Maddie Skinner, Mariana Singletary, the other SEC first team selection and all-region selection as well from Texas. Good ball control allows Avery Carlson to get her going here early. That's going to be key. Allow these pins for Texas to settle in and create some space.
Deep serve, pretty well handled. And that ball over the top of the block by Sis. The first error that time in the attack phase by number 2 in white for Creighton. Wennis again, the transfer from Minnesota, was part of the national championship effort last year against Nebraska. Perfect pass. There is Waite being very aggressive, and she will score once again. Missy, you gave us the numbers. I thought it was a misprint when I was following the first and second round last week. She is now 18 of 22 as a setter in the attack phase. That is crazy town.
Every time she is attacked in the NCAA tournament, it's gone for a kill. Every time.
There is Waite. Once again, twice the player of the year. Perfect pass by Skinner. And Singletary over the top of the block just inside the end line.
Singletary with 3 kills now for Texas, and quite honestly, keeping them in this one early.
Passing has not been the issue for Texas. To your point about getting the ball into the middle, they've just been hitting balls out of bounds and misplaying plays that they usually don't. Perfect pass once again, one-on-one, that missed out of bounds. This is the first swing by Jaya Johnson, the 6'3" redshirt freshman.
And Jaya Johnson, actually a middle blocker. I would expect to see her transition into that role next year for Creighton as they'll graduate their 2 middles. But brilliant on the part of Coach Bernthal Booth to get her into the matches this season as a right side and gain some experience.
No panic from Texas. Skinner unloading, no block there. We talked to Coach Elliott yesterday, and he said, look, when we lost 3 in a row, when we were clearly struggling, I would come to our practice gym, and players would be there early. They would be serving, they would be passing, they would be communicating. And when they fell behind big early, no panic whatsoever by the 2-time defending champions. Good comeback.
Well, and because Texas has involved their middles early, Jaya Johnson bid on it.
Reagan Rutherford again. And we're back to the start of this match. It's only a 1-point differential. Texas on a 4-0 run. And good work by Jared Elliott and his coaching staff and the Texas Longhorns to get immediately back in this opening set after trailing 8-3 early.
big rip from Reagan Rutherford. And again, you notice it's a one-on-one opportunity, because while Texas wasn't having success early, what they did do well is Avery Carlson did everything she could to establish the middle with that good passing. And now you're seeing one-on-one opportunities, pins being left alone for Creighton trying to defend Texas, and that's a tall task.
Let's go over to the sideline now in Shelby.
For Creighton, at least getting it. Creighton with Texas, right side Reagan Rutherford, and outside Maddie Skinner. They all won a championship at Kentucky their freshman season. And last night, Gettinger said, Skinner's going to get hers. You're already seeing that right now. She said, all we can do is try and contain her. She will be a force. When it comes to Gettinger, yesterday, Maddie Skinner said in the press conference, Elise is a fiery player. She brings another level of excitement to the court. We've all improved over the years. I'm expecting her to go off on us like she does everybody. Paul?
Thank you, Shelby. And once again, a very, very nice response by Texas. There is Eric Sullivan, one of the outstanding members of Jared Elliott's coaching staff. Also David Hunt. David Hunt takes care of the offense. Eric Sullivan, a two-time Olympian and an NCAA champion at UCLA, takes care of the defense. Their first ball contact, Texas, during this 8-match winning streak, they have been passing good or perfect 60% of the time to only 46% of the time for their opponents. That is exceptional, and that's what's gotten them back in. Some very uncharacteristic errors early.
Yeah, interestingly, these two teams both swept their way through the first and second rounds. And here they are on the big stage, interregional, in a match that so many people had highlighted on their bracket. When this bracket was rolled out, this feels like a big one. Like the winner of this one has a lot of momentum moving forward, and I think the players felt the weight of it as well, because we've seen a bit of a roller coaster so far in set one.
There is the libero, Emma Halter, wearing number 2 in the black libero jersey, back to serve. Speaking of passing numbers, 64% during that winning streak for Halter. Pass by Martin, perfect. Good contact by Halter, giving Texas a chance. Sis, really good swing, but missed the top of the block.
That big block for Texas will force you out of your comfort zone as an attacker. It creates errors. It makes you think about your swing. How about the first contact you mentioned by Emma Halter right there? Not only did she get to the ball, she played it with absolute control.
Both teams passing very, very well. That ball off the top of the tape by Reinhardt and out of bounds. And back to Emma Halter out of Indianapolis, Indiana. 3.5 digs, 30 aces on the year. Both of these teams very sound in reception. One of the reasons why Texas played a 6-2 early in the season, in other words, 6 attackers, 2 setters, their ball control wasn't good enough, according to the Texas coaching staff. Well, in the 5-1 now, their ball control is exceptional in defense and also in first ball. There is Halter, one of the best in the business. It's a long list of outstanding liberos in the country this year, Missy. Kayla Akana will come back on. A little bit of a bookkeeping delay at the sideline. Kayla Akana will come on and serve for Texas. Remember, Creighton led in the opening set thanks to multiple errors by Texas. 8-3, now it is 13-all.
And
let's start this over, Missy.
Yeah.
Why don't we? Excuse me.
In terms of that ball control, you mentioned Kayla Akana, a defensive specialist on the defending championship team from a year ago, but Texas actually using one less defensive specialist, as now both of their outsides play in 6 rotations. And how about the stuff block for Creighton against Maddie Skinner?
Reinhardt doing most of the work with some help on the outside by Jaya Johnson.
And I like the fact that Creighton was there ready and waiting. They're not guessing, they're not waiting to read. In that situation, they're releasing on Maddie Skinner. They know where that ball is going.
Brilliant short serve by Bilanovic. She knows the wind currents in Rec Hall.
Yes, she's spent a lot of time here, a graduate of Penn State, playing her 5th year for Creighton as she returns to a gym she knows quite well. And she also knows in that rotation, Maddie Skinner not wanting to pass there, and she forcing her to think about it.
Pretty good block touch, Bilanovic there. That ball set too tight, smart shot to recycle. Inside the block, Martin once again wearing number 8 in white.
It's the kill that gets the applause, but how about the reset shot on the really tight set that she's able to keep this alive and give herself a second chance. And then when the timing is right and they're in system, what a smart cut shot by Martin.
Creighton responds with a 3-0 run, working on Wenna. She's passing the ball very well. Swing for Johnson, looking high, hands, and got a touch.
And Paul, I've been waiting for this opportunity to point out something you're going to see different from Creighton. That second contact coming from Elise Getzinger in the middle, that is by design.
Now a 4-0 run for the Creighton Blue Jays. Texas calls a timeout, and we will step aside here at Penn State. This is the regional semifinals. The Creighton Blue Jays, their first and second round, easily over South Dakota. And this was a very good Ole Miss team. They had knocked out Florida State out of the SEC. First couple of sets were deuce, and then after that, Creighton was able to take control and move on to the regional semifinals to take on Texas. Second meeting ever between these two teams, both of them coming in the NCAA tournament, the last in 2016. In the regional finals, that was in Austin, that was won by the Longhorns. A 4-0 run now for the Blue Jays. They've won 24 in a row. That's a serving mistake to Akana. Touch by Sis. Martin ripping down the line. Did she get a piece? Got a piece of the end line.
All eyes have been on Nora Sis for the last couple of seasons, and Ava Martin has quietly become one of the most efficient and most effective left side hitters in the country. Take note.
Ava Martin already with 6 kills, and Nora Sis with another dig. She averages a little over 2%. That's a miscue, that's a play. Kirsten Bernthal Booth in her 22nd year on the sideline for Creighton in Omaha, Nebraska, was not happy that that ball didn't come up. That was an quote-unquote easy opportunity.
Yeah, and she said coming into this match, the margins are small. Every point is important, and that's why you see that reaction from the coach, knowing that's one where they forced an off-speed, they have to control that.
What an outstanding swing. I'm telling you, Nora Sis and Ava Martin are so well trained. They never hit the ball down into the block. It's always high up into the fingers.
Absolutely. Kendra Waite comes flying into the scorer's table to make a play on this ball, and she still puts it in a window where Ava Martin is able to take a quality swing.
Here is Brysinger. You young outside hitters, take note. Out of the back row, Skinner, that's not going to be tracked down. Good sprint that time by Sis. During this 8-match winning streak, of which Maddie Skinner appeared in 7, missed 1 because of illness, hitting over 500 out of the back row.
And we mentioned that teams have absolutely struggled to defend that back row attack. If there's a team that might be prepared for it, from the swings we've already seen from Ava Martin out of the back row, Creighton is a team that sees a swing very similar in their own gym, and I'm curious to see if they're going to be able to defend it.
Perfect pass, right side to Getzinger.
The Getzinger slide, when it gets going, it is like a steam engine coming at you. And boy, did she and Kendra Waite find a rhythm in that second round match against Ole Miss. Getzinger was nearly unstoppable.
That is a steam engine, the head of a freight train.
Yes.
Elise Getzinger won a national championship at Kentucky, 6'4" senior out of Blue Mounds, Wisconsin, hitting at a 383 clip in the Big East Conference. That is best among all attackers. And misplayed that time by Creighton, a rare ball handling error. They're expert in that first contact area. Avery Carlson back to serve. She has become the one setter for Jared Elliott. All the numbers indicated that she should be the lead setter for Texas. Tight pass. Opportunity to get back within 2 for the Longhorns. Rutherford again got it.
Look at the ball movement and the range of Reagan Rutherford. And for a team like Creighton who can ball control you to death, Texas has put themselves ahead in the last 2 points from the service line.
Timeout called by Creighton. Each team has allowed 2 timeouts along with a couple of challenges. We haven't had a challenge yet, but so far, how do you explain the streakiness when both of these teams have been coming in playing very solid volleyball in all phases?
Yeah, high error early from Texas. and then we saw it swing in Texas's direction, and we saw Creighton make a few errors, and I really think it's been over the last 8 points that these teams have settled in just a bit.
Let's go back over to the sideline to Shelby Coppage.
Well, Texas with the momentum after Creighton outside Ava Martin missed her serve. Now, against Ole Miss, she went on 12-0 service run. Her head coach, Kirsten Berthal Booth, said a huge factor for us is if Ava can keep her serve over and in. She's currently leading the gym with 7 kills, but Texas definitely taking a huge sigh of relief after that missed serve. That is one of Creighton's most lethal rotations, Paul.
Thank you, Shelby. Texas hitting 318 right now. Creighton hitting a cool 500.
Yeah, Shelby, such a good point. That was a missed opportunity for Creighton with that serve that Ava Martin has. However, she is making her presence quite known in this gym, and she's doing it from the front court as she is leading everyone, Texas and Creighton alike, with 7 kills without an error yet, hitting .875 on the match. That's your junior outside hitter. One piece of the deadly duo of Creighton's outsides, she and Nora Sis.
Ava Martin, 6'1" junior out of Overland Park, Kansas, 4-time first-team All-Big East, honorable mention All-American last year, putting on quite an offensive display, and also in reception and defense, really solid all around. Texas back within 2. Sis into the cross court, can't be handled.
Bilanovic with the pass that Creighton needed, and what that resulted in was a quicker tempo set out to Sis. This is the fastest ball I think we've seen her hit so far today, and you see the difference in the result there as she gets a little more heat on it.
McCune back on to serve. The lead is 3 once again, opening set best 3 out of 5. Penn State and Marquette still to come. Good enough pass by Skinner, and in a deep cross-court corner. Mariana Singletary, wearing number 11 in burnt orange, has been very, very good in attack so far.
Painting the corner there, and Coach Elliott told us yesterday one of the biggest improvements over the course of their season has been for their young middles. They have 2 freshman middles, a true freshman and a redshirt, and Singletary starting for Texas for the first time, and he said she has been able to drop her error percentage over the course of the season dramatically.
Unusual play. A nothing of a serve, perfect pass in system, and the timing not there between Kendra Wade and Nora Sis, who played about 120 matches together.
Yeah, I mentioned moments ago it was a quicker pace set out to Sis, and it felt like that time she was expecting something even faster.
Good pass once again, back to Sis. That's good choice, off the edge of the block and down. Love it with Wade going back to Sis right away.
And I think that literally Sis just so excited about this match that she was ahead of that prior set. She was on her horse before she should have been. You know, the excitement for this Creighton team to play Texas was palpable. You know, they weren't overwhelmed by the situation. They were just really fired up to be on this national stage.
Perfect pass by Skinner. Not a great set, off the joust. What a play by Bilanovic. Back to Singletary. What a play by Texas.
Transition volleyball at its best. When you have your opponent on the scramble, how quickly can you get the ball to the middle? Look at Nora Sis and then Bilanovic keeping that ball alive. All-out effort. That's what you expect from Creighton.
Halter working on Sis. The score is about what we expected, but the way we've gotten there has been very, very different. High swing up into the block, thrown down by Ames, number 5 for Texas. Tied at 22, Texas has never led in this set.
Interesting rotation in that Jaya Johnson lines up in left front for Creighton and runs all the way behind the passers.
That is a tough run. Into the backcourt and off the edge. Ava Martin lighting it up here at University Park in the first match of the regional semifinals.
And that's not for lack of defenders, Paul. Texas, 3 blockers ready and waiting on Ava Martin, and she's able to work it off the edge.
8th kill for Martin, 23-22. Shank pass, set points now. Working on Skinner. She'd been good in reception until then. Very tactical match by both teams. These serves are not going to Skinner and Wennis by accident. They are being targeted. Tough serve. Chance for the opening set. Sis, not yet. Outstanding transition set that time by Texas, and the ball is to the floor. Good reaction by Ames out of the middle.
These outside hitters have their hands full today, Paul. We knew they would be asked to do a lot offensively, but boy, are they having to pass a lot of balls. And we've got a sub for Texas. Ella Swindle onto the court, a bigger block across the front row for Texas here.
Great call, Missy. Set point number 2. Texas looking for the tie. Go away from Skinner and Aiden Ames. What a gutsy set from Ella Swindle, who led Texas to the national championship last year as a 5-1 setter. Gutsy play.
Just thrown into the match. How about the blind set behind? Incredible. And I tell you, Creighton has gotten Texas into some situations they've had to use off speed, and Creighton hasn't defended that.
A chance for the lead. Good read that time by Waite. Martin looking for the deep cross-court corner and missed that long. What a very, very unusual bit of circumstance towards the end of this opening set. Set point now for Texas.
Near ace moments ago had Kendra Waite not made a diving save.
Texas's first lead. Here is Akana. Tough serve. Milanovic, perfect pass. Dug by Wennis, one-on-one, look out! Texas, yes, please do, Missy.
Ella Swindle.
Exactly.
The block touch right there. Incredible to get thrown into that moment, but not surprising.
What an interesting substitution, bringing in Ella Swindle. Not only does she go to the middle, but then she goes to Skinner. Texas comes all the way back to take the opening set. Just a tremendous, gutsy job by Ella Swindle. There is Singletary and Martin leading the way. Mariana Singletary with 5 kills, Aiden Ames patrolling with 5 kills on 7 swings, and Madison Skinner, who got off to quite a slow start for someone of her caliber, righted the ship, certainly 4 kills on 10 swings. How does Creighton respond? Not only leading 8-3, okay, fine. Skinner and Texas came back and tied it at 13, but then they led 20-15.
Yeah.
They had 2 set points.
You mentioned the fact that the score was what we expected, but we didn't get there in a way that we saw coming, Paul. And I think it's because you have to look at the play of the outsides. And apart from Ava Martin, the outsides were just very up and down. And that's why that first set looked the way it did.
Just underway, second set, just like the way it started. Kiara Reinhardt, 6'3" senior out of Cedarburg, Wisconsin, with the kill. Creighton comes in with a record of 31-2. Texas at 20-6. Wennis, very good pass. Skinner off the top. And saved by Martin. Right side to Rutherford, through the block. Good block touch. Beautiful swing. High flat off the top. Getzinger stepping in, or was that Reinhardt? Good job with the hands.
It's Reinhardt, and it was a beautiful dig by Kendra Waite. The ball control she has to place that on top of their middle blocker, and realize with the rule change, there will not be a double contact called on that second ball, and so they're letting their middles go ahead and set that. They said they feel like their percentage went way up when they went to that.
Blocked on the outside by Ava Martin, number 8 in white.
Reagan Rutherford's first error of the match here. Really nice block work there by Reinhardt.
Just like there was no panic from Texas early on when they were not playing well and were trailing 8-3, there will be no panic. That ball tucked down inside. Reinhardt thought it was a stuff. A little premature celebration. Killed by Reagan Rutherford, the transfer from Kentucky. But there'll be no panic on the side of Creighton. This is such a quality program on both sides. Texas headed up by Jared Elliott.
And not only quality programs, but the maturity of these teams. When you look at their rosters, the number of fifth-year players as we close out that era of COVID kids, a lot of mature players on both sides of the court.
Well, and also Creighton, the Big East is not as strong as the ACC, the SEC, and the Big Ten, but they have played a very tough schedule. Missouri, USC, Purdue, Kansas, Marquette, they beat them 3 times. Marquette's still in the tournament, and their only losses were to Louisville and to Nebraska, both in 5 sets. Expect this to take a long time. Maddie Skinner starting to heat it up. Really good contact by Halter. Skinner missed that out of bounds. Turned line and missed it.
Credit that point to Bilanovic, the big dig in left back. And I felt like her play as a libero would be key in her ability to defend Maddie Skinner because how good she is in that angle shot. She defends the first one, forces Maddie Skinner to have to do something different, and Maddie misses down the line.
Skinner going off speed. Martin, Halter, perfect dig, right on target. Ames, misplayed, Getzinger. That's a mistake by Getzinger. You got to put that ball away or do more with it with that first contact. Dug by Akana. Perfect throw down, perfect spot. Yeah. Why is the soft underbelly of the defense right in the middle?
It's the high contact. It's not the short ball right over the top of the block. But we've seen both these teams go deep into the center of the court, and your middle back defender is thinking side-to-side movement, not thinking about moving forward. That's a hard ball to defend. But the defense on both sides of the net, these liberos are fun to watch.
Wonderful serve by Skinner with the ace.
In the ups and downs of the season, Maddie Skinner said, when you're not producing in one area, you find other ways to impact the game. That's what you get from a fifth-year player.
Well, here she is in her fifth year and has gotten so much better in defense and serve receive in this her final year of college volleyball before she goes on to the professional ranks. And you may well see her a couple of years from now in Los Angeles at the Olympic Games. She is that elite in her technique and her athletic ability.
We've already seen her sister Avery excel at that level.
Won a silver medal in Paris for the United States, of course. They won a national championship at Kentucky together. Good read by Sis. Getzinger on the slide and able to tuck that down inside Wennis. Andy Jackson may be the best slide hitter in all of college volleyball, the star middle for Nebraska, but Getzinger brings some heavy heat.
She does, and I love the fact that they're not afraid to go to her time and time again.
Pretty good touch that time by Halter. That was a tough serve. Martin again going high hands. Look at the defense from Skinner. Wennis inside the block and down, number 13 for Texas.
Jenna Wennis. At times I feel undervalued on this Texas team for what she brings to the table. Did not play in 6 rotations a season ago. Look at this angle as she just splits the defenders, finding her way around that block. But she does a lot on first ball contact for this Texas team that can go unnoticed.
Here is Binney, defensive specialist on to serve. Once again, 15 total substitutions allowed in women's college volleyball. At too much heat from Sis out of the back row.
That is how this Creighton team can separate themselves from others in the country, is the fact that those outsides are absolutely interchangeable. They're both effective out of the backcourt, both effective across the front row, both high-level ball control players.
They're in the conversation as, ace serve. That's part of the conversation. Ava Martin continues to light it up. Her first ace. She's got a block to go along with 8 kills on 15 total attempts and another early timeout called by Texas, very similar to the opening set. Creighton out quickly, leading 9-4, but Texas took the opener.
Welcome back to Rec Hall, where Creighton leads Texas in the second set, 9-4. Now, both head coaches said these players are immensely prepared for pressure. These players are not only handling it this deep in the tournament, but they are handling it in school as well. Yesterday, 10 Creighton players had finals yesterday, and today, many Texas players will leave this gym to go take their midterms as well. Both head coaches said these players are not just excelling on the floor, but in school as well, and that's what we look for in high school. Can these players handle the pressure, Paul?
Thank you, Shelby. It's an old saying, be where your feet are, but it's much easier said than done. What a pass by Halter. Getzinger, second contact.
I mentioned it early, Creighton by design, when the setter takes first ball, is passing it to the middle of the court. Their middle blockers have been setting that ball all season long, and just last weekend for the first time they started taking it over on second contact.
Skinner out of the back row. There are many, many good ones. Kennedy Martin. We saw Olivia Babcock. carry the day for Pitt the other day. Merritt Beeson, but I think you just saw the best back row attacker in all of college volleyball.
Yeah, and Creighton said yesterday they were going to try to get hands on it. Only one blocker up there. That's not going to get it done.
Yeah, good choice by Avery Carlson and very, very good offense. And that missed out of bounds. Ava Martin, number 8, very similar to the opening set when Creighton led 9-3. Texas came back to tie it up at 13 before taking the opening set in extras, 26-24.
After the big swing by Skinner out of the back row, Coach Booth saying to her team, this one right here, next ball. Maddie Skinner's going to get her kills. You can't let that kill turn into a string of points here.
Good set by Halter. And going high hands, looking for a touch, and that ball just missed out of bounds by Rutherford.
When Texas is slightly out of system, when they're setting a long string ball across the court to Rutherford, and when she's converting on those, things are going well for the Texas offense. We haven't quite seen them get to that gear yet.
McCune back on to serve and play defense for Creighton. And that missed just out of bounds. Good communication that time between Halter and Skinner. Talked about Jenna Wenna. She's hitting .216 on the year, but over this 8-match winning streak, up to .260. That is a big, big improvement. And you talked about the sky-high numbers for Maddie Skinner at .422. Right side to Reinhardt. That is missed out of bounds, unforced error.
And you see the commitment to the middle. Both of these teams, we've seen errors out of the middle, but they continue to set the ball to the middle. The importance of running offense all along the net to create opportunity for the outsides.
That not a good set. That had to be saved by Sis. That was set way too close to the net. Good block touch. Wennis absolutely perfect. A dime leading to Skinner, throwing it down into the perfect spot.
And you're exactly right, Paul. Throwing it down, getting her feet. Look at the block touch, first of all, that allows Texas to transition behind. And then the height of Maddie Skinner. When you say throwing it down, she's contacting that ball at a high point that makes it really difficult to defend.
Wait with a save, and right to Mariana Singletary. It's a 4-0 run for Texas. More and more, this is just like the opening set. Timeout called now by Creighton, and it is just an 11-10 lead. Remember, in the opening set, after the big lead by Creighton, it was tied at 13. This is a very, very interesting match so far, how these teams have put together big runs. Perfect pass. Sis. What heat off the left side. Where would you rank, when you look around the country, where do you put Sis and Martin among the best pair of outside hitters?
They are 100% in that conversation, if not at the top of that conversation. I really like the Skinner-Wennis pair. You know, watching Louisville last night, you'd be crazy not to include Anna DeVere and Charity Looper after the way those two played. You got Harper Murley and Taylor Lanfear, but that second outside for Nebraska can be up and down. I think in terms of consistency, these Creighton outsides lead the way.
Beautiful shot and read that time by Martin out of the back row, wearing number 8 in white. She averages just under 4 kills per set and hits .327 as an outside hitter. And you're going, okay, Paul, they play in the Big East, but they played a very representative schedule. Rutherford one-on-one. Both setters and receivers doing an excellent job in first and second ball contact.
It's a nice long string set, as you saw Carlson get pulled into left front there, and a beautiful delivery to Reagan Rutherford all the way out to the antenna, giving her that option to swing down the line.
Texas hitting .321 so far in the match. Creighton at .348. Oh, that is a rip right over the top. To Nora Sis's standards, she was reasonably quiet in the opening set. Quiet no more.
Absolutely, that is key for Creighton. They have got to get her into a comfort zone. An interesting style attack there is all 3 hitters in front of the setter there for Creighton.
Working on Skinner, perfect pass, and Ames right on the sideline for the freshman.
The ball control for Texas continues to allow Avery Carlson to mix it up, and I like the discipline in her decision-making, that she didn't go to the middles early and then go away from them, but she continues to use her middles enough to open up the outside.
Ames now 6 of 8, no errors. Coming to Martin. Halter, very accurate off the top, and that swing. Really good swing by Skinner. Good high swing, just missed the top of the block. You can live with that as a coach.
Absolutely, and just enough of a soft touch on that block to allow Halter, who's such a high-level defender, to easily transition dig that ball. If you can just get a soft block like that, Emma Halter can keep you in business all day long.
And Madison Skinner has been hitting .387 in transition, which is a ridiculous number. In transition, the defense is almost always set. There is Sis down the line.
A little bit of an adjustment there from Creighton as their off blocker, instead of staying shallow to the net, moves a little deeper into the court that time to pick up the off speed that's been giving them issues. See that difference there? She's playing a ball deeper into the court, and for the first time, that deep tip shot is actually transitioned and a point earned by Creighton.
Vilanovic with the service error. That ends a little mini run for Creighton. Once again, these two teams meeting for just the second time ever, both of them coming in the NCAA tournament. Texas won the previous meeting in Austin in 2016. Here is Skinner. Pretty well handled. That was a tough serve. And Getzinger, nice touch by number 13 in white.
And if you're going to find that kill shot over the block, there is just a very small area of real estate where you're going to be able to keep it out of the reach of Avery Carlson. Look at this. She comes diving in. And perfect placement from Elise Getzinger.
A little good luck there as Brysinger comes on to serve. You got to stop serving Emma Halter.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth, Paul. Another pass off the arms of Emma Halter right on top of Avery Carlson's head. They just cannot continue to allow Emma Halter to dictate first contact for Texas.
Interesting substitution deployed by Jared Elliott. Rella Binney will come on just to serve. She does not stay on in reception. She plays defense here, but she does not stay on in reception. Binney with a second contact. Here comes Skinner. What a dig. Sis out of the back row. Sis again. Martin looking for high hands. Another quality swing. Both of these teams are so well coached and so technically sound, looking for just the tips of the fingers.
When you dig a back row Maddie Skinner swing the way Creighton has, and you don't convert that into a point, that one hurts.
Good pass. Getzinger again on the slide.
Kendra Waite is an artist when it comes to offense. Watch this little spin set here from Kendra Waite. Hangs it right up into a perfect window as Elise Getzinger with such a quick arm to get through that block.
Waite wearing number 15, 5'10" senior out of Gardner, Kansas. 11.1 assists per set. That is a big number. Good pass by Akana. Back to Wenis. Definitely a touch.
Mark that pass right there from Kayla Akana, because Ava Martin is so dangerous from the service line. They can get her off with just one serve. That is huge for Texas. Another key substitution now.
Devin Kaawaiv, 6'4" junior, played an awful lot as a starting opposite in the 6'2". Playing time been limited of late. That's going to be a net violation. That's called against Singletary. That's a break that time for Waite and Creighton. They lead it 19-16. Jared Elliott coming down to talk to the second referee about whether or not that might have been simultaneously. That is Bill Stanley. Trouble here for Texas. Waite. What a smart tip. She is in the final stages of her nursing education, and that was very cerebral indeed.
But Creighton ahead in that point, because for the first time in a while, they don't let Emma Halter pass the first ball, Paul.
Timeout called by Texas. In the opening set, Creighton led 20-15. I would think Kirsten Bernthal Booth is reminding the Blue Jays not to take their foot off the gas.
A little tight here, but no problem for Kendra Waite. When we told you she is one of the best pure athletes in the country playing the setting position, these were the kind of plays we were talking about. She makes it look easy. The way she sees the court, she's a tremendous talent.
Steph Curry would have liked that.
Yes.
Long range, dropping it down perfectly. The lead is 20-16, but this set is far from over. Kiara Reinhardt taking over the huddle. Like to see it when it's player-driven. We saw Shelby moments ago. Now let's hear from Shelby.
Paul, the Texas huddle was led by the outsides, mainly Jenna Wennis saying, emergency, we need to show urgency right now. And then Ella Swindle chimed in. Paul, back to you.
There is Ka'awai, big arm on the outside. Ka'awai again. How clutch is that? You go to the bench and you bring in 6'4" junior Devin Ka'awai. You bring in Ella Swindle at the end of the opening set to save the day.
And Paul, you're seeing why the 6'2" in theory made sense for Texas. Two very talented setters, a plethora of talented attackers, and yet they struggled to find rhythm. Now in the 5-1 with these same players, they have sub options that allow them to play out of tough spots.
Touch by Wennis. Both teams working really hard in block defense. Another good quality contact. Skinner again, finding the soft underbelly. How do you adjust defensively if you're Creighton?
You just can't give Maddie Skinner that many opportunities. And I think right now it is that deep tip shot that we are seeing Skinner score time and time again on. So if you block line and perhaps allow that right back defender to pick that up.
Really good block touch that time by Ka'awai. And then off the block and out of bounds. What a magnificent smart play that time by the Longhorns. And that forces a timeout by Creighton. Back and forth we go.
Paul, Jenna Wennis with a line drive dig into the net. She purposely line drive digs that ball into the net that allows her teammate to play it out. And then the brilliantly magnificent shot. Look at this, the line drive dig into the net. Avery Carlson has the mind to stay with it, and this is a magnificent shot from Skinner. Maybe a little lucky, but pretty magnificent to use this one just to get back up off the ground and then throw that one off the block. Incredible headsy play by the Longhorns.
Well, smart shot by Skinner was rewarded and then some. She was looking for the recycle. Instead, she's the first player in double figures with 10 kills on 25 swings, and Skinner has 6 kills in this, the second set. And neither team will go away. One carves out a lead, the other comes back, and vice versa. Very, very entertaining so far here in University Park. Madison Skinner already with 3 NCAA championships, the first at Kentucky, and then back-to-back at the University of Texas.
Going for 4 titles over the course of 5 years at 2 different schools. So a bit of a circular way of getting there. But a 4 championship opportunity and a 3-peat, maybe, perhaps, for Maddie Skinner. It's been the season of 3-peats, Paul.
Well, it's been the season for attempted 3-peats. The Las Vegas Aces, Kansas City Chiefs, they're still in the running. UConn basketball, 7-3. They won 4 in a row. The Lakers most recently in the NBA won 3 in a row at the beginning of the 2000s, and the Texas women's volleyball is still very, very much alive for the 3-peat.
I feel a little better about Texas volleyball's chances than UConn men's basketball. I'm just going to throw that out there at this point in the season.
Good pass and response. Block touch. Ka'awai has done an excellent job in blocking. Martin out of the back row and off the hand of Ka'awai. Maddie Skinner has a chance to become the 3rd all-time player with 4 championships. Ari Wilson and Alyssa Dorico, both of Penn State University, won 4 in a row.
And Dorico, we thought perhaps would join us at this regional, but Marquette upset her Utah team in the 2nd round.
Well, there were 5 very interesting upsets, all on the road in the 2nd round of the NCAA tournament, as we talked about. One of the most competitive, one of the most unpredictable. Kiara Reinhardt again. 22-19 is the lead.
Paul, I've enjoyed the fire from Kiara Reinhardt. She's a vocal leader on this Creighton team, and this is a difficult ball to attack. It looks like the easy kill, but that ball hanging in the air and you're waiting on it, that's a hard one.
And another service error. That ball missed out of bounds. That's a huge break for Creighton.
Absolutely.
But note to Creighton, Emma Halter is wearing the black jersey. Do not serve. She's been expert in reception.
And credit to Emma Halter for eating up balls. She's covering a lot of ground. She's shading toward her outsides. She's making it hard to serve away from her.
There's another.
That's not hard.
Good read that time by Waite. Chance for Sis. Hittable ball, off speed by Skinner. Martin out of the back row with a rip.
It looked like Ava Martin left that dig a little short and is going to make it difficult here for Creighton to put up a good set, but guess what? Waite just goes right back to her behind. Beautiful swing.
Set points now for Waite and Creighton, looking to level this match at a set apiece. Johnson is slowed, been fairly quiet offensively. Singletary, no to the outside, two-handed dunk. Some contact on the outside. And through the block and down, and the second set goes to Creighton.
Sis starting to heat up, 8 kills now for her. Martin with 10 as they combine for 18. Maddie Skinner with 10. Jenna Winnis only 2, so 12 kills from the left side for Texas.
Not surprised at all that the Creighton Blue Jays at 31-2 overall were able to shake off the comeback by Texas in that opening set, come right out and play a very, very strong second set and win it 25-19. We're tied at a set apiece. Let's go over to the sideline to Shelby Cobbage.
Coach, your team started out strong momentum-wise till Texas started going on runs. How do you stop them in the third set from going on runs?
Yeah, I thought, it was a game of runs in the first game in particular, and even in the second, unforced errors from both teams. I thought, we've got to make sure no off-speed drops, and we let some of that stuff, and then I thought Texas made some plays.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Paul?
Thank you, Shelby. That is Kirsten Bernthal Booth, the reigning Big East Coach of the Year, and we are tied at a set apiece. Penn State and University Park tied at 1. Now let's send it to the studio. Sam Gore and Jen Hoffman, Nora Sis and Ava Martin leading the way for Creighton on the comeback. Back at Penn State, regional semifinals tied at 1 set apiece. Very good bounce back. And no surprise, Creighton led by Nora Sis's 7 kills, 25-19. They win it. Let's go over to Shelby Coppage.
Coach, your middles, Aiden Ames and Mariana Singletary combining for 12 points those first 2 sets. How do you keep them involved offensively the third set?
Well, we just got to keep head contact in the ball and getting them in the position to be able to attack.
All right, thanks, Coach. Paul?
Jared Elliott once again in his 24th year, 3 times a national champion, including back-to-back. The first for Coach Elliott was in 2012. Second set, very impressive by the Blue Jays.
Blue Jays kind of felt like deja vu as they had that lead at 16-20, much like they did in the first set at 15-20. Here comes Texas roaring back, and we saw a confident, level-headed Creighton team. Remember, both of these teams coming into this round had not dropped a single set in the NCAA tournament. Now they both have. That weight of perfection is removed. The NCAA tournament isn't always pretty. Who can survive the grind?
A little bit of history on the Texas side. They have been to 29 regional finals. This is their 36th regional semifinal. It is the 4th for the Creighton Blue Jays. They have advanced to the regional final only once, and ironically, that was to play the Texas Longhorns. Shelby Coppage on the sideline. Missy Whittemore, former star setter at University of Florida. I'm Paul Sunderland. Penn State and Marquette still to come. The bottom of the bracket, Wisconsin, Texas A&M, followed by, Nebraska and Dayton. Underway, third set. Good block touch against Ames. Tight set, slicing and dicing inside, and a pretty good eye that time by Nora Sis.
3 blocks so far in the match for Creighton stuff blocks. Those are blocks that score a point. Still 0 for Texas. And so these outside hitters for Texas are thinking a little bit about the big block for Creighton. And Creighton doing a good job, I think, Paul, of not guessing, but going ahead and making a step in the right direction and closing a lot of blocks. As soon as I say that, no hands up on Maddie Skinner, a blocking mistake.
Very, very quick in the back row attack. What's the perfect set location to Maddie Skinner? How close to the net?
It's pretty close. I
agree.
It's pretty close, and it's pretty low. And notice how they're setting the gaps. She's either going between right and middle block or between left and middle block, or they're shooting the gaps. It's coming at you quick.
Averaging 6 kills per set, hitting .422 during this 8-match winning streak. Sis over the top and registers an opening kill for Creighton.
And another example, as you mentioned earlier, Paul, these Creighton outside hitters are so well trained. Again and again, the high, hard, flat ball.
Sis now with 9 kills on 23 swings. Martin with 10, Skinner leading the way. Shank pass here, and Halter hustles to try to keep that ball alive. And the service winner, if you will, from Nora Sis.
Coach Bernthal Booth told Shelby, we cannot let Texas continue to score with off speed, and I would add to that as the match moves forward, they have to create some havoc from the service line. Finally, Sis able to do that.
Coach Bernthal Booth, as a lot of coaches do, saying, look, this is where I want you to serve the ball. Skinner again. Dunked by Bilanovic. Sis out of the back row, dunked by Halter. Smart shot, recycling. That's going to be a double contact. Yep, yeah, no, it was coming.
Yeah, it was coming. Too many cheers to hear the whistle, but that one traveled over the net, and so you get the double contact call there. Had it stayed on Texas's side and they took a third contact, there would not be a double contact on that second ball.
For each of the first 3 sets, Creighton has got out of the starting blocks very, very quickly.
Finally serving away from Emma Halter.
Timeout called by Texas. Another flying start for the Blue Jays. Kind of battle we anticipated in this regional semifinal. Well, we knew this was going to be a very, very competitive match between Creighton and Texas. But how about repetition upon repetition? Each of these 3 sets has started out with a 5-1 lead by the Blue Jays.
Coach Bernthal Booth said there between sets 2 and 3, it has been a game of runs, and have the runs continued right on into the third set. As long as it's running in her direction, I think she's okay with it right now.
Well, and very, very smart tactical serving right now. Moving. See, Halter's in the right back now. Yep. It's not that hard to avoid her.
That's right.
Skinner again.
Not the double and triple block against Maddie Skinner out of the backcourt that I had expected from Creighton. And yet they continue to just put one blocker up, really trusting their defense. And Maddie Bilanovic has dug some of those. Not that one, but boy, she's put some good balls up.
Very good reception.
One-handed set.
Very, very good reception. And once again, Kendra Waite. You don't have to wait for her to do something special.
You can make a highlight reel already from what we have seen here today. That ball passed tight to the net. It's with one hand that she has the strength to get a very hittable ball outside to Ava Martin.
Let's look at the Texas receive. Now Halter is right in the middle of the court. It's a little more difficult to avoid her, and certainly Creighton does a good job of that. Perfect pass in any case, but that's just playing the numbers. That's just smart serving to avoid Emma Halter.
Absolutely, absolutely. You got to credit Jenna Winnis there for stepping in, passing a good ball. But at least make the outsides have to do that. Don't let Halter control.
Sis, Halter is there. Lost her balance a little bit. Free ball now coming to Creighton. Right side to Johnson. Wonderful cover and hustle by Creighton. Singletary, no, one-on-one. Maddie Skinner wearing number 6 in orange, one-on-one. That's 99.9%.
Kendra Waiton went behind there to Jaya Johnson. They don't get a quality swing. Instead, Texas ahead in that point, and when they're ahead in the point, they get the one-on-one opportunity for Maddie Skinner.
Well handled by Sis. There is Getzinger. And it's a foul ball. Missed that. It was open down the right field line and missed it wide. Getzinger now 5 kills on 8 swings, 1 error. Very efficient. Coming to Murray. Oh. How good is that? Ava Martin now 12 kills on 24 swings.
Just fluid, Paul. Such a natural attacker, natural defender. She plays all areas of the game really well, and just a beautiful set there with some space between the blockers.
Here's Breisinger to Halter. Reasonable pass. And Skinner through the block and down. Skinner starting to roll now after a very uncharacteristic slow start, but that was a long time ago.
Skinner now nearly doubling up any other attacker for Texas. In fact, she has. That was her 14th kill Mariana Singletary was 7, the next closest.
And just like that, after the 5-1 start, service error here, Texas was back within 1. We talked about Madison Skinner possibly becoming the fourth all-time, 4-time NCAA champion. Also add Blair Brown to that list of Ari Wilson and Alyssa DeRico.
And we thought if there was going to be some runs in this match, it might come with Ava Martin at the service line. We've really yet to see that.
That's a good call, Missy. #1 in terms of service aces, which doesn't tell the whole story. When you serve in, what does the other team pass? How effective are they at siding out as Kaylee Akana comes on to serve now in Texas? What do you know, back within 1. Tied at a set apiece. Texas won the opening set, came back from a big deficit, took it 26-24. Good rebound by Creighton to take the second. Good contact and offensive-minded. Kendra Waite with a kill.
And I was about to say, when you get a free ball opportunity for Texas, Creighton knows this. When you have that opportunity, you have to terminate in transition. I was waiting to see, where does Kendra Waite go? Good decision, takes it herself.
In the tournament, Kendra Waite is 25 of 28 so far offensively with no errors. Olivia Hausman on to serve for the first time, wearing #1 in white, and misses that. Creighton at 31-2, perfect 18-0 in conference. They've won 24 in a row. We talked about the only 2 blemishes. Those 2 teams, Louisville, a bad miss that time by Skinner. Their only 2 losses are both to #1 seeds in this tournament, Nebraska and Louisville. Louisville, a very impressive performance last night after being threatened by Northern Iowa in the second round on their home floor. There's Jared Elliott leading this program, a #11 seed this year, and he reminded me last year, he said, look, Paul, we were a 7 last year, beat 3 #1 seeds to take the title. Nicely done by Ames.
And this is where you have the discussion of what does your serve look like. We know the errors, the missed serves drive everyone crazy, but if the passing is coming that easy for Texas, there's no slowing down that offense.
Reese Emmerich on to serve for that's a nice pass.
Yeah.
That was a very tough serve. Dug by Akana. Reinhard on the backslide.
Credit Creighton for taking care of business. When they create an overpass, when they create a free ball opportunity like this one right here, they have to convert on these. They're well ahead in this point, and look at the behind quick to Reinhardt.
Yeah, that really wasn't a slide.
No.
That was nicely done on the back quick. Oh!
Wow.
Vilanovic, assists out of the back row.
That one should get a nod of approval from Coach Bernthal Booth. That's how you keep the off speed from hitting the floor. Maddie Vilanovic absolutely flying in and with control. Controls the ball.
Overpass. Akana holding her ground in area 1 in the right back. That's going to be a net violation. Wow, that's going to bail out Texas. It didn't look like that shot from Wennes cleared the tape, but a net violation called against Creighton.
We talked about the Liberos. Kaylee Akana would be a Libero on most teams across the country. She is really, as you said, holding her ground back there.
Both teams utilizing all 15 substitutions. Johnson off the edge of the block. Been quiet, but that's a very nice play by the redshirt freshman.
Jaya Johnson, interestingly, is used sparingly. They don't need too much from her, but now on 7 attempts, she has 4 kills. And that's just a perfect dose of the right side. Kendra Waite handling this offense with precision in order to keep that block honest.
Good pass by the middle blocker. Hey, you usually want outside hitters to go from pass to attack. How about middles this time with Mariana Singletary?
I like the way she steps in and takes this with confidence. Why not? It's right on her, and it's a quick give and go, and the block is late.
First team all SEC out of Charleston, South Carolina is Singletary. Good set in transition. Getzinger with a nice hand, Martin. Dug by Halter. Oh, good transitions. Oh, look out. Was that a facial kill or was that off the shoulder? I'm not sure I've ever seen a facial kill.
Creighton doing everything right.
No,
Picking up the
shoulder,
off-speed.
shoulder,
Okay.
thank goodness.
Okay.
Thank goodness.
Picking up the off speed, keeping balls off the floor, doing everything right. And excuse me, Texas.
Deja vu all over again. Look at this, we are tied. Just like the opening set, Creighton led it 8-3. Texas came back to tie it at 13. And neither of these teams, they both have so much fight and so much quality. Tied at 13. Texas a number 3 seed in their section of the draw. Creighton a number 2 seed out of the Big East. Coming up, number 1 seed, the Penn State Nittany Lions, co-champions of the Big East. Jess Merzick, 4 times all Big Ten. The transfer from Michigan leads the way offensively. But this is a pretty balanced Nittany Lions team. They'll take on Marquette.
I think that'll be the key to that match. 2 teams that are so balanced, that get kills all over the floor. I think you could see some long rallies in that one, but Jess Merzick is certainly a difference maker. And this is a group of seniors who are really motivated to get the very most out of the end of this season.
There is the bracket. Taylor Trammell also very good out of the middle, Cameron Hanna. But remember Izzy. You never want to forget
That's
Izzy
right.
Stark. Outstanding freshman of the year in the Big Ten Conference, leading the way for the Penn State Nittany Lions. That is coming up a little bit later on. And also other matches, Nebraska will be in action along with Wisconsin. Nebraska taking on Dayton and Wisconsin taking on Texas A&M. We talked about the competitiveness. Number 5 Dayton beat Baylor in Waco. Number 5 Marquette in 5 sets beat Utah in Salt Lake City. Number 7 Missouri beat SMU in Dallas. Number 6 Florida beat Kansas at home. And number 6 Texas A&M beat Arizona State. Competitive and unpredictable, and I'm so glad that ball did not hit Madison Skinner in the face. That would not, I'm being perfectly serious.
Yeah.
I'm very, very glad that did not happen. That ball was hit very hard. Tied at 13. Texas still without a scoring block. That is remarkable, but putting some pressure on, that ball missed out of bounds.
It's interesting to me, Paul, how high Creighton will at times pass the ball, as though they're giving their offense an opportunity to set up, but it also gives that Texas block a lot of opportunity.
100%. I like to play fast break volleyball.
Yeah.
You get a free ball, get it up there in a hurry. Good swing. Jaya Johnson with a response.
Complimentary volleyball. You know, another great choice there by Kendra Waite from the player you don't necessarily expect in that rotation.
There is Sydney Breisinger, had 17 digs earlier in the year against Nebraska. Quality back row specialist. Skinner. Martin, once again, very hard to put the ball away. Good block deflections. Ka'awai comes off the bench and scores once again off the right side. Devin Ka'awai from Kailua, Hawaii.
Really nice swing there, but it's the block deflections time and time again that are allowing Texas to transition behind the block. Touching that ball, they're in complete control of these points.
Good reception again. Getzinger's been pretty quiet. Nice dig by Carlson. Ka'awai again, turned it and missed it out of bounds. That's a break for Creighton.
Tried to turn that one, maybe didn't quite get her feet to it, Paul. I think, you know, different footwork. She works outside to inside there, might have a better look down the line.
Creighton is hitting .337 on the match.
There's the serve.
Skinner tipping. That is smart, but I would think that Breisinger's got to be reading that into area number 2.
I mean, that was the serve we've been expecting from Ava Martin. It's a dangerous serve. It creates out-of-system opportunities, and Maddie Skinner just comes up with a huge save for Texas.
Kayla Akana, who's been exceptional in backcourt defense, wearing number 12 on to serve for Texas. Sis, slam dunk once again. Kendra Waite with another kill.
2 hands up, right? The deception there. It looks as though she's going to set that ball, and she gets it to the floor so quickly.
Is this Texas blocking just not being aware enough? I mean, because she's so offensive-minded. Ace serve.
I think the way that Kendra Waite turns on the ball, the way that she sees the block, Paul, she goes for angles around the block. I don't know that one block is enough against her, and yet I think if you're Texas, you almost have to give that up. She's going to get a few kills, but you have to defend the attackers.
Wow, Maddie Skinner unloading. Kendra Waite, if you're wondering, has 5 kills through the first 2 rounds. She had 17 kills on 21 attempts, still without an error.
2 defenders in position, and it is just coming at you so hot.
Skinner now with 17 kills on 42 attempts. Good looking offense. That, oh boy, that hit Skinner in the foot, but got a piece of the floor. Really good looking offense in the kill by Sis. Having a word with her head coach here now, Kirsten Bernthal Booth. Double-digit kills for the 100th time in Nora Sis's career. Not surprised by that. Skinner missed it out of bounds. We might have our first challenge. All the Texas Longhorns immediately turned. Coach Elliott talking to his players who are spread along that sideline. (19-17). Tied at a set apiece. Skinner again. Waite, magnificent dig after the block by Reinhardt. And off the top of the block and the score for Creighton. Timeout, Texas. And the streaking continues from both of these teams. Garrett Elliott talked about it. Kirsten Bernthal Booth talked about it when they were talking to Shelby.
The effort and the focus from Creighton in this set to keep off speed off the floor has been really impressive. Take a look at this last swing, another dig on an off-speed style attack, and then it's that well-trained, high, hard, flat swing that has actually kept Texas from a single block over the course of this match.
Ava Martin leading the way with 12 kills. Nora Sis just got her 11th. 359 hitting efficiency, really incredible for Creighton. Let's go to the sideline in Shelby.
Well, as you know, in volleyball, we call the red zone when a team gets to 20 points. But Creighton head coach Kirsten Bernthal Booth calls it the edge zone. She said, we started calling that in January after we reevaluated some mistakes when we get to those final 5 points of the set. She said, we were not aggressive enough. We want to have that edge towards the end. I tell my players, go for it. I would rather you swing hard and out than giving a lame tip over the net. And right now you see her team is first to the edge zone in the 3rd set. Paul?
I love playing on an edge. I mean, why not? And also, I love it when teams are aggressive and take swings, particularly in the edge zone or the red zone and in transition opportunities. And certainly Creighton is very, very well schooled in terms of their attack angles. They just don't get stuffed, as evidenced by the bagel in the column for Texas.
Yeah, to second Shelby's point, every press conference I've heard from the Big East tournament on for this Creighton team, I've heard at least one player use that term, go for it. We're going to go for it. We're going to go for it. That is the mentality.
Waite continuing to serve. Tagging Halter. Chance for Wennis. Free ball looking to extend the lead into the middle. No, outside. And the score by Creighton persists.
Now that was a fast ball from Kendra Waite. That is a double quick right there. You've got the middle coming so hard, and really it's Sis right off of her shoulder.
The lead is 21-17. Waite doing an exceptional job with service pressure. Another free ball. Right side, Johnson one-on-one. Kendra Waite is exceptional in moving the ball around.
She's a setter who at times you don't notice because she is just, everything runs around her so smoothly, the way she moves out on the floor.
Well, there's been one misconnection through the course of the entire evening, and you look at the totals, and the attackers for Creighton have taken 94 swings, one misconnection.
Yeah. That was a beautiful piece of serving by Kendra Waite, the way she attacked right back there time and time again.
Emmerich on to serve once again, and that ball turned. Would have been a net violation in any case, but what a crack out of the middle by Kiara Reinhardt, the 6'3" senior out of Wisconsin. Creighton 2 points away from taking the 2-1 advantage over the two-time defending national champions. Gonna have a look here. Wenis, ball set a little tight, and that is out of bounds. Wenis is struggling. Wenis is now just 3 of 13 with a couple of errors.
I thought it was really nice block set up by Johnson. She moved her block set up inside and made for a really difficult swing for Wenis.
Set point number 1. Singletary staves off the first of still many, making it 24-19.
Second player to double-digit kills for Texas is Mariana Singletary, who's been very good today.
And also very unusual in my mind for a middle for Texas in this particular match to be second in kills. Out of the back road assists and missed it long. Looking for a touch and none detected. We still haven't had a challenge. Carlson serving. Another set point. This is the second. Milanovic saved by Waite, kept off the floor by Milanovic. Singletary again. Quickly to Wenis. For the lead. And missed out of bounds. We're going to have a timeout here, I guarantee it. Kirsten Bernthal Booth, no question we're going to have a timeout. That is 3 opportunities and a look at swings, and so Creighton will slow things down, take a breath, and Texas will try to pull off a miraculous comeback. It is 24-21 here at University Park, tied at 1 set apiece. NCAA Volleyball, the national semifinals, coming up Thursday, December 19th on ESPN. For more information, go to ncaa.com, your official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. 2 days later, on the 21st, the national championship for the 44th NCAA women's volleyball title will be held on NBC at the Yum Center in Louisville, Kentucky. Back with Missy Whittemore, I'm Paul Sunderland, Shelby Coppage on the sideline. Your thoughts so far on the match, and it looks like Creighton's going to take a 2-1 lead.
I am not willing to say that yet. That's a lot of confidence you have, Paul. Now, I will agree. This is a rotation that you feel like Creighton should be able to get out of. This is literally a 4-option rotation. 3 hitters across the front row with Nora Sis available out of the back court. So lots of opportunity here for Creighton. But wow, does it get hard to finish a set when you're playing against the likes of Texas.
What comes first for the Creighton Blue Jays? Let's go to Shelby while we've got a moment before this next set point.
Well, Jay's middle blocker, Elise Getzinger, was first to talk. She said, hey, we need to be louder. She was very calm, but she did say, we need more communication. I really can't hear you. Then head coach Bernthal Booth got in the match, in the huddle, and said, hey, just go win this, and broke the huddle. Paul?
Thank you, Shelby. Easier said than done. This is the 4th set point for the Creighton Blue Jays. Carlson. Perfect pass. Where do you go? Right side to the redshirt freshman. What a swing over the top into the deep cross-court corner. Perfect execution.
The pass they needed. A set that isn't just a hittable ball, but an absolutely killable ball. And as you said, gotta love it when your redshirt freshman steps up and takes care of business.
Well, you've got Ava Martin on the outside. You've got Nora Sis out of the back row. So let's go to Jaya to get the job done. And JJ did indeed get the job done. And Creighton takes the 2-1 lead over the 2-time defending national champions here at Penn State. And just like we had big comebacks in sets 1 and 2, I expect nothing less than out of the Texas Longhorns. This match is far from over.
very convincing performance by the Creighton Blue Jays in sets 2 and 3, 25-19, 25-21. Missy, let's take a look at the highlights from set 3.
Well, what I notice is they start with diving Blue Jays all over the floor, the commitment to keep the off speed from scoring and then turning it into points. There's been plenty of good play from pin to pin. As you see, Jaya Johnson, we were told, took an astronomy final this morning. And guess what? She's playing like a star, joining the ranks of Maddie Skinner, who sometimes isn't only good, but lucky. More good than lucky, though, when it comes to Maddie Skinner, and lots of good when it comes to Jaya Johnson, the unlikely hero right now for Creighton.
What do you see here? 357 jumps right off the page.
Yeah.
Unbelievable job offensively. Texas has really got to pick up their block defense and their serving.
Yeah, I think the blocking is what jumps off the page at me, not because of the fact that Texas is only 4 shy of Creighton, but what it tells me about the maturity of the Creighton offense to not allow them to register a single block stuff. It speaks to the discipline of that high, hard swing.
Maybe Creighton's offensive numbers on the season. This is no surprise for them to put up, astronomical numbers at the offensive end. That's a net violation. Creighton was number 2 in the country in offensive efficiency behind only the Pitt Panthers, 332, and also held opponents to 124. That will win you a lot of matches. I don't care what league you play in. Perfect pass. And that ball is blocked. The first block registered by Ka'awa.
And if you're joining us late, no, we are not in a 6-2. Kawhi is playing in place of Reagan Rutherford, still in a 5-1 for Texas.
Rutherford 5 of 12 so far on the early evening. Overpass joust. Perfect set that time over the top. What a read that time by Martin. Skinner again, ball set too tight. Kendra Waite.
Yeah.
Maddie Skinner finding Sis into the cross court. Skinner now with 18 kills.
Emma Halter with a nice piece of secondary setting. She steps in there, and we all know where that ball's going, right? The recipient is going to be Maddie Skinner, but how nice of a ball Emma Halter hangs up there to give her the opportunity to kill it, even in a situation where the block is ready and waiting.
Just handed a great note. I'll give that to you, Missy, right after this point. Halter, nice play by Reinhardt off the edge. The 3-0 was the largest lead of the match so far for Texas. I'm just saying.
That tells you a little bit about this one, huh? If you had this matchup circled from the beginning of the bracket, you rightfully did so. It is living up to the billing.
Good eye that time by Wennis. Take us to the Texas side. Adjustments they need to make, areas in which they must improve now with their backs against the wall.
You know, the margin of error is just so incredibly small. I don't think there's major changes that Texas needs to make. I think it's trusting your team. Stick to the game plan. You know, you have to prevent the long runs.
Great effort that time by Wade, almost running out of real estate into the stands here at Rec Hall. Crowd still filing in. The homestanding Penn State Nittany Lions taking on Marquette. Penn State has won the national championship 7 times, but the last in 2014. Jaya Johnson, I don't want to say she's been a bright spot or a surprise, but boy, has she really stepped up as the competition has. She's now 8 kills on 11 swings.
And I think the difference is that it's been in some big moments, Paul. I think that's why we're noticing it. It's been some really must-have situations where Kendra Waite has not flinched. Just spun that ball to her and she's come through.
Maddie Bilanovic again played 103 matches for Penn State, so a lot of the fans here in University Park know her. Unforced error that time by Skinner.
And notice Skinner trying to move her off speed to avoid the defense of Kendra Waite. Kendra Waite has picked up her off speed throughout that entire third set. She is trying to avoid Kendra Waite there.
Got a question for you after this point. 2 hitters in the front court and no back row attacking right now available for Texas. Good pass by Akana. So that's the one I love. I was about to ask you, Missy, it seems to me that Texas is setting the ball much too close to the net, time and time again for Skinner. That time she had a meter of room and killed the ball easily. Your thoughts?
Yeah, to your point, give her space to swing. I agree.
Getzinger, long slide halter. Tough to get the ball to the floor. Sis out of the back row. Nora Sis once again, number 2 in white, 13 kills.
A 4-hitter rotation, and I say that, and I mean it. All 4 hitters are an absolute threat here. Goes right down the middle, and it's really no block for Nora Sis.
Both teams deploying 6 rotation outside hitters. Wennis and Skinner, along with Sis and Martin. There's the tip. Bilanovic, that ball is down. Good work by the officials. Hustling down the line to call that pancake. The ball was on the floor. Skinner leading the way, no surprise. 20 kills on 50 swings, but has 8 errors, hitting .240 efficiency. Mariana Singletary, second with 10 kills.
Paul, you said over the last 7 matches, Skinner averaging
a serve.
No time to talk. Too many highlight plays.
You can talk all you want. You just take it, Missy. Reese Emmerich coming on. Good touch by Emmerich. Chance here for Skinner. Tipping an awful lot of balls. The connection not clean. Wennis, they need more production out of Jenna Wennis, number 13 for Texas. Oh, that's such a good swing. Spectacular cross court. 4-4. Left front to left front by Ava Martin, registering her 13th kill.
If you haven't seen Ava Martin play yet this season, you've been missing out. What a phenomenal volleyball player.
Texas leading 8-5. Again, led the Big East in total aces. Into the middle by Singletary. Bilanovic flying around. Singletary again. I don't know if that ball cleared the net, but in any case, Getzinger was there, number 13 in white.
Lots of discussion between Elise Getzinger and her coaching staff as they talked about defensive responsibilities. They're blocking at the net, and it looks as though she had made a commitment that time on Mariana Singletary, and it pays off.
Creighton looking to get to their second ever regional final. The last was in 2016 against these same Texas Longhorns. It's a regular appearance. You can just write it down for Texas. 36 regional semis, 19 straight, 29 regional finals.
That 19 straight is the best in the country.
And probably will never be matched the way this sport is growing in popularity and in quality. Slam dink is stopped by Getzinger. Good read. Wennis looking high hands and missed it out of bounds. Texas thought there was a touch, and we might have our first challenge. Coach Elliott is talking to his assistants and to his players who are horseshoed around that line, and they often have the best view, and he has decided not to challenge. Working on Wennis, lots of pressure on Jenna Wennis in reception and in attacking. Really adding to her workload.
The back set by the middle blocker.
Ka'awai slicing and dicing, chopping down the line.
This is a true slice shot. Look at the handwork there to roll that one down the line.
Coach Elliott imploring his star middle blocker, Mariana Singletary, to start taking away some cross court. Oh, that's smart shot. Really smart shot by Nora Sis, the 6'1" senior out of Papillion, Nebraska. 2022, she was Big East Player of the Year as a sophomore.
We said it early, Paul, this Creighton team will ball control you to death, and that's defensively and offensively with the pinpoint placement.
And they also defend you to death. Nothing gets to the floor.
That's right.
They average 14.5 digs, 2.7 blocks, all of those really good numbers. Tapped down by Reinhardt out of the middle.
A feisty pair of middle blockers in Reinhardt and Getzinger, who actually played club ball together as youngsters. I'd have been scared of that team.
With Skinner in the front court, there's no back row attack now for Texas. Singletary is slowed. Coming to Skinner. And blocked. Skinner is blocked on the outside by Johnson and Reinhardt. That is the 6th scoring block for Creighton. Tied at 10. The Creighton fans right behind us are flying high, Sorry for that one. Tied at 10. Big block by Creighton. Maddie Skinner couldn't get the ball past, forcing the timeout to be called by the Longhorns. Well, appropriate that we're at Penn State, the longest consecutive tournament win streak of all time when they won 4 in a row. Texas has 14. A lot going on, a lot of pressure. Let's go over to Shelby Coppage with more on Creighton.
Past head coach Kirsten Bernthal Booth had her Creighton players lay down and say, visualize this, you're playing Texas, it's the 4th set. What are you doing? Front row, serving, setting. See that and let it play out, Paul.
Thank you, Shelby. Nice play by Skinner. You've got to visualize rockets coming at you off the bat of number 6. Skinner now with 22 kills on 55 swings. Both coaches very, very involved. It's often customary that Coach Jared Elliott will stay down the sideline, but he is engaged right now. Texas in a must-win situation. The 2-time defending national champions. Nice play by Halter. Perfect first contact by Vilanovic. And a better block. Ka'awai is adding something, number 44 for Texas. She's got both blocks for the Longhorns.
This ball set inside. And I think it actually makes for easier execution there for Adam Ames. She doesn't have to travel as far, but it's Ka'awai right there in front of the attacker.
Right side to Johnson. Timing was not quite there, but the redshirt freshman who scored set point beautifully in the 3rd is able to hang and tap that ball down. Texas won the opening set, came back from a 20-15 deficit to win it 26-24, and then all Creighton 25-19, 25-21. Sis back to serve. Texas leading by 1. Must-win situation for the defending national champions. Twice over to stay alive. Halter with a chase. Shank pass that time by Wennis. They're targeting Wennis right now.
And after set 2, we have seen the Blue Jays make a concerted effort to keep first contact off of Emma Halter.
Well, and it's this rotation. Halter is in the right back.
Yep.
In the other 2 rotations, she's in middle back, so she can take a lot more real estate. That was a good pass and a better block. Kiara Reinhardt with the stuff.
We talked about the fact that these middles for Texas got going early and often, and since then I think we've seen a little more commit blocking out of the Blue Jay middles, really sticking with those Texas middles.
Another service winner, this time from Sis. It was, and now grows, the largest lead of the set for Nora Sis and the Blue Jays. 4-0 run for Creighton. 31-2 on the year, riding a 24 match winning streak. Tight to out wide, good swing. Brilliant dig by Sis. On 2 again, I love that tactic.
I do too. And I love the fact that they did it all year, and then just a weekend ago, they added the attack over on 2. So hard to defend.
A lot of times you try to target the opponent's setter. Well, be careful what you wish for.
That's
if it's
right.
Kendra Wade or somebody else in the right back, they're going middle front to Getzinger or to Reinhardt to go ahead and swing away on 2. Brilliant, brilliant tactical coaching.
High, hard swing into the block, and the control that Kendra Waite has to hang it up there at the net. We've seen Reinhardt set quite a few of these, gathers herself, turns, and takes a rip. No defense.
And that's not lucky by Creighton and Waite. That's by design.
Yep.
Very, very good and very innovative. 15-12 is the lead. Texas forced to call a timeout. Texas has used both of their timeouts. Reinhardt with 3 kills and a couple of blocks in this set. A lot more volleyball still to come on this side of the bracket. Penn State, #1 seed in this section here at home. Last couple of years they had to go to Wisconsin, but they earned a #1 seed. So they are comfortably at home to take on Marquette. Wisconsin and Nebraska, I said it before first serve, look to be on a collision course meeting for the 3rd time this year. Nebraska won the first 2 meetings. But I'll tell you, with so many surprises in this tournament, I'm not going there yet. It's likely, but I'm not going there. Nebraska is playing at home.
If this is the way the day is starting, what a day of volleyball we are about to experience.
Let's go to Shelby, who is listening in on the Longhorns.
Well, Texas offensive coordinator David Hunt said, Emma Halter, I want you to switch around. He's trying to mix up serve receive where she's the one receiving the ball. He also looked at Kahawai and said, I want you to hit different shots right now. So right now, definitely focusing hard on Emma getting that first touch, Paul.
Absolutely right, Shelby. They went to a 4-person receive in that particular play, and it earned them a side out. That's really good coaching, great report off the sideline. They moved Skinner back, they moved Ka'awai back, and took some of the pressure off Winnes.
They pulled Maddie Skinner out of serve receive, and it took away the need for Winnes and Skinner to communicate and make a decision, because that seam, they were having a lot of issues in that seam.
Huge side out for the Longhorns. 15-13, not a good set, that ball too tight. And we're going to get a touch off of Carlson, number 17 in orange, and says to Eric Sullivan, yep, I got that one. Coach Sullivan is the defensive coordinator. David Hunt, formerly the head coach at Pepperdine. Oh, that's a wonderful look. Right off the pinky.
Really good control again by Ava Martin.
Vilanovic back to serve. The lead is 3 once again. Oh. Skinner. That ball missed out of bounds. Wow, that was a magnificent swing. I thought that ball was in for sure. We're blocked a little, and we are going to have our first challenge. And it will obviously be ball in or out.
The ruling on the court is ball out, point Creighton. Texas is challenging that the ball was in.
There is the push to talk, the first challenge. You get 2 to start the match. If you are correct, you have an unlimited number. If we go 5 sets, you get an additional ball in or out, touch off the block, net violation, ball up or down, 4 contacts, back row attack, foot fault on the 3-meter line, foot fault on the service line. Did I get them all? I think so. That was the laundry list. Boy, I thought this ball was in. Nope, I was wrong again.
Yeah.
We are a little bit blocked, but that swing had such quality to it and such trajectory and velocity.
Confirmed, point Creighton.
That call will stand. That's good work by the officials. Good work by the lines people. So now Texas has 1 challenge remaining, but most importantly, trailed 2 sets to 1 at 17-13.
Extended conversation right now between Jarrett Elliott and Ella Swindle, and a little extra movement from her. We may see her back in this match.
Back to 3 receivers is Texas. Good pass by Winnes. Ava Martin right on the sideline. Magnificent transition swing by number 8.
And Kendra Waite, what she does beyond setting, Paul, she has taken away the Maddie Skinner off speed and has allowed Creighton to transition it into easy points.
Great call. What an adjustment this time by the Creighton coaching staff led by Coach Bernthal Booth. They're starting to pick up all of those off speeds, particularly from Maddie Skinner and Jenna Winnes. Nice response by Aiden Ames. Here comes Ella Swindle, and going to come in for Avery Carlson. So setter for setter. This is how Texas won the opening set. Swindle, who led Texas to the national championship last year, 6'3" sophomore out of Columbia, Missouri. Martin again, good read by Halter. Joust coming, Ames there. What a save by Waite. Good control by Akana. And Getzinger, did she get a touch? Elise Getzinger, the Blue Jay fans behind us desperately want a touch. They know it is crunch time. 18-15, Skinner back at the line. Tough serve. Must have. Ames, no. Skinner out of the back row. Timing not there. Got to get a swing there if you're Texas. Good set to Winnes, and she's through.
These middles for Creighton are making their presence known more and more as this match goes on. They've found their rhythm, they've found their timing against that Texas attack, and we've seen Reinhardt and Getzinger with some big-time stuff blocks.
There is Brysinger, 8 blocks now for Creighton, only 2 for Texas. Wenis forced to go off speed. What a stab by Halter. Another free ball. Getzinger again tucks it inside. Texas is in real trouble.
And you saw Aiden Ames, she had to stick with Kendra Waite. She had to defend the setter first, and then when the ball is released, there is not enough time to catch up with the slide play. Too big of a hole there.
Remember, Creighton led 20-15 in the opening set, Missy, before Texas came back to win it 26-24.
Quite honestly, this has been the sweet spot for Texas right here. At either 15-20 or 16-20, this is where they've made their run.
Remember, Shelby Coppage was listening in and reminding us about the visualization yesterday, trying to tap into that if you're Creighton.
Emmerich, another really nice serve for Texas as she's doing her part.
Played very sparingly throughout the course of the year. Reese Emmerich, 5'9" backup libero out of right there in Austin, Texas. Timeout is called by Creighton. 20-17. Texas has won 4 national championships, or I should say 4 NCAA championships, and they won the 81 AIW championship as well. Jared Elliott has won 3 of those. Mick Haley won the very first in 1988. That final was in Minneapolis, Minnesota, over Hawaii and UCLA. Jared Elliott won over Oregon in 2012, and then the last couple of years beat Louisville and Nebraska.
Tell you what, Creighton's talked about it the last 2 seasons, the edge zone. When they get to 20, can they shut the door? And Coach Bernthal Booth said to us, you know, when you're picturing a win, you don't picture winning on your opponent's error. You picture winning on your own solid attack. And so I think that's the message right now. We go shut the door here. This is about us executing right now.
A lot of volleyball still to come. The Penn State Nittany Lions, the #1 seed, #3 overall. Jess Merzick looking for a huge opportunity, closing out her career playing in the regional semifinals at home. Caroline Juravicius, the son of legend for the Nittany Lions on the football field, Joe. I think she's got a big opportunity coming. And there is number 21, Izzy Stark, a freshman. Can a freshman win a national championship? Yep, just ask Ella Swindle, who's out on the court right now. That is still to come, about 30 minutes after this match concludes. If Creighton were able to close this out, is it an upset?
It's not on paper, but I think it is because of the history of the tournament. This feels like a blue-collar Blue Jay team, you know, built for this season. Can they dethrone volleyball royalty? Because of that, it feels like an upset.
Well, they are 5 points away. That might be the longest reach to 5 points that the Creighton Blue Jays have ever experienced in their distinguished history on the volleyball court. Pretty good first contact. Back to Getzinger. Oh, unloading down the line.
Prior to that timeout, Elise Getzinger with an uncharacteristic mistake. And you felt like she just wanted it so bad, trying to make it happen in a hurry. But it's execution 1 point at a time, and that's what it looks like.
Martin, best server for Creighton. Nice pass by Akana. Very off speed by Singletary, conservative.
The coverage.
Wonderful cover and a better read. Ella Swindle there along with Mariana Singletary. Texas will not go quietly into the night, no question about that. Carlson comes back on. It's 21-18.
It's taken a while to get her on one, but finally Texas makes it hurt.
Not sure that ball cleared, but Singletary was there. Martin out of the back row, easy read. Huge swing. Wenis is blocked.
Elise Getzinger is all over that swing right now. And Jenna Wynn is just struggling in these broken ball situations where the block is ready and waiting for her. Kendra Waite so disciplined in the block setup, taking away that angle.
Creighton 3 points away. Wenis this time off the right. Good swing, and that'll be out of bounds. Huge clutch swing that time by Jenna Wennes. That's only her 4th kill on 23 swings with 5 errors, so hitting just negative.
Creighton got the serve they wanted. That was a beautiful serve. First, forced the setter to take it over her shoulder like that, but just better execution on the part of Jenna Wennes.
Wennes having to shoulder a huge workload there, serving her pretty relentlessly. Nice play by Wennes. Must have for Skinner. That's going to be a net violation, either on Singletary or Ka'awai. Coach Elliott will certainly think about challenging this one. And we're going to get a challenge.
And he doesn't even ask his players. I think he goes to the challenge hard just because he needs to slow things down right here.
Coach Elliott speaking with the second referee, Bill Stanley. Now we'll get the call.
The ruling on the court is net fault on Texas, point Creighton. Texas is challenging that there was no net.
Texas is utilizing their final challenge if this is incorrect. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that Singletary's right arm.
I thought maybe Ka'awai's left arm, and I saw that in real time. I thought Ka'awai in real time was in the net.
The call was a net fault against Texas. If it stands, it's 23-19. Creighton has been to the regional finals once in their history. We've talked about it. It was against Texas in 2016. This is their 4th regional semifinal appearance.
After review, the call is confirmed. Net fault Texas.
Texas is out of timeouts, out of challenges. They need a miracle right now, and Creighton, tremendous performance so far, out-hitting Texas 309 to 208. Kendra Waite at the line. Tight to Skinner. Boy, really good read. I'm surprised Ava Martin wasn't all over that ball. She has been as she rotated defensively out of the middle back. Emma Halter, 23-20. Remember the comeback that Texas staged in the opening set to close it out, 26-24. Good pass by Vilanovic. Oh, right side, they don't go to Skinner. Are you really surprised they don't go to Maddie? I know that Carlson was pushed this way, but my goodness, set Maddie Skinner.
It's a big point to go to your least experienced player, and now they're in the rotation where they've struggled to serve receive.
And that was a poor set by Carlson.
Yeah.
4 match points for Creighton. 4 contacts, and Creighton is moving on.
And Paul, I know Creighton is the higher seed here, but it feels as though the Blue Jays have just pulled a huge upset. Everyone loves the Cinderella story. I think we've got one.
We talked about it, Missy, before first serve. Is this the most competitive, the most unpredictable tournament either of us can remember? You just got a little more proof. I said, throw out history. Throw out the SEC versus the Big East. Creighton is so well coached and so good, and their outsides, Sis and Martin, carried the day. And what about Jaya Johnson? 9 of 12, including set point. Maddie Skinner's career comes to a close. Absolutely phenomenal. You have certainly not heard the last of several of these players for Texas, but Madison Skinner, 3 times a national champion, joins a very, or is in a very select group, and she has got an incredibly bright future again. But now the spotlight and all the conversation should be about the Creighton Blue Jays and what they've just done.
And I can't say it enough. It's Kendra Waite, the quarterback of this team. What a special player. 2 players in double-digit kills, and then Reinhardt and Johnson right there at 9. The spread of the offense executed to perfection.
3 sets to 1 is the win by Creighton over Texas. Let's go to Shelby.
Ava, in 2016, Texas sent Creighton home, not letting them go to the top 8. At what point in the match did you know your team could do that back to them?
Oh my gosh, by the start. We had such a quick start, but it was such a back and forth game. It was very close, but I'm just so proud of us for fighting.
The last time your team lost was in September against Louisville. Your middle blocker, Elise Getzinger, said, "You will never be intimidated again by a jersey name, that you have to be the aggressor." What made you and your team the aggressor against Texas?
Yeah, we came in super slow against those teams, but we know we're a good team. We've been working so hard, and so we just needed to come in, play for each other, trust each other, and yeah, just play our game.
You had 15 kills against a huge Texas middle block. How did you get past them all day?
Oh my gosh, Kendra Waite, you see her flying all over the place. Even Maddie Vilanovic, our libero, she's putting up great out-of-system balls. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to do it without them, so.
Congrats, Ava, thanks.
Thank you so much.